Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 10 Color Productions' Instagram and YouTube and wherever else you're seeing this. This is the first episode, and we're doing it with the fabulous, the gorgeous, the talented Dipanita Sharma. So, welcome to our little show. Of course, I mean,
Hello.
you have to assume that the
How
audience is
nice
tapping
to
right
you guys.
now.
Yeah, and also people should know the kind of pain we had to go through. We had to go through a manager, we had to go through a talent agency company,
Oh,
and the director of the web series she's shooting for, we had to take permission from him because the look she's in is basically from a show that she's doing.
Oh, that,
So,
yes.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. This is the Bhangan look. I call it the Bhangan look, which happens.
Yeah,
when
like you know, in this
I
era
go
of
for so
reality
long.
cinema. Yeah, like in this era of reality cinema, and people are doing these de-glam roles. This is where Dipanita fits, like a supermodel turned into a.
The best part about it, the best part about it is this is very relatable content because right now everyone is in Bhangan look. The new look
Yeah.
that spotting is called.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen like amazing videos of people like sweeping and cleaning, and it's amazing. It's great. It's just that
And also, I think it's the first time
I haven't made videos out of it.
I think it's the first time on like a digital platform or a social media platform you have one Bhangan and two Bhangis in the same frame. So the first time we're doing it, and for everyone who's just tuned in, we're chatting with Dipanita Sharma, and we'll be asking her some fun questions. It's not an interview; it's just a fun conversation that three friends are probably having. We worked with Dipanita, and I've worked with her when I was an assistant director. Farzan's worked with her as a producer. We've handled a photo shoot for her in the past, which is about roughly a year ago now.
Yeah.
And so how was your experience working with 10 Color Productions? And you can totally be honest how unorganized we've been and how awful we were. Yeah.
This video is not my interview. It is self-promotion of 10 Color Productions. And you guys know how wonderful it has been working with y'all. And love y'all. Yeah, it was so amazing.
It was phenomenal to work with you too, Dipanita, and we really look forward to
and we should do some more stuff hopefully
after this lockdown. Yeah, and so how has the lockdown been so far for you? What have you been up to? Not been up to, which is a bigger question.
The crazy thing about this is that sometimes your sense of reality sort of goes for a toss, a little bit. So initially you're like, okay, the sinking in takes so long.
Definitely.
I think the sinking in has started happening for me only probably since yesterday, very honestly. I have been in isolation for a while longer. I think since the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. But the sinking in is just not now that, you know actually what is happening, And the fact that, and suddenly it's like, you're not enjoying sleeping long hours anymore because it is like, and sleep is very, very important to me. I love sleeping, but now suddenly it's like, oh my God, I have got too much time to sleep. I don't want to do this. I want to do something, So also trying to use my time constructively. Like yesterday, there was a meme going on. I think that I finished Netflix because there is literally, you're just watching stuff back to back, and you're like, okay, ab kya? So yes, I'm reading a little bit, which I.
What are you reading? Tell us about what you're reading.
Okay, so I was reading a couple of short stories that a friend of mine sent on email. So those have been interesting. I'm also reading this book called Anon, which is authored by Bhavani Iyer. She'd given it to me a while ago, and now I'm reading it. So I baked the other day. I baked a cake. I do love baking, and I never do it otherwise. Apart from that, decluttering and thinking of what to do next is also something that...
Yeah, you finally must be having but apart from reading like books and short stories and everything, I'm sure you must be like getting back to your scripts also now that, we know that you ventured into production. You're floating your first film, that you're doing, I think in Northeast somewhere, Assam. And on the acting front also, what's happening on the script front as a producer and as an actor?
Yeah, so we shot our first film. Now basically it's in the editing stage, and everything is shot right now. So we are just figuring strategies how to go about it once the lockdown is done. About reading scripts, I started shooting a film actually, and I mean, we had to suspend it after 3 days. So that's one script. I am hoping that if I keep reading it, maybe I'll get better at it when I finally go to go and shoot it. Maybe I'll see it in a different from a different perspective or something.
That's
and
great.
there are other stuff for the producer, stuff that we want to pitch, which we've been sprucing up. Me and my business partner, we are in 2 different cities right now. So Saugata and me have been connecting on that as much as we can, because it has still been disorienting.
Yeah. Also, this film that we're talking about, you're producing, and are you also acting in it?
So not all the projects, no. I'm the first film that is done, and we are on the editing table for that. Yes, that one I am acting in.
No doubt this pause will definitely be positive. That's what we need to keep thinking about. Think positive thoughts, and maybe maybe come up with a better editing technique and figure out how to make the film even better. And this pause might just let's hope that happens for everyone. Yeah, definitely. And the thing you said about your partner and you being in different cities, I think it doesn't matter. Nitesh is in Andheri and I'm in South Bombay. Sometimes we feel we're in different countries only altogether.
Yeah, I'd reach Dubai faster than Grand Road.
But that is true. That is so true now, and I'm thankful for this media, and thankful for the fact that now 3 of us can sit and chat like this.
Absolutely.
And we can be in touch with the people you love and the people you work with in this manner. At least we have been given that.
And speaking of quarantine, when was the last time you sat in your house voluntarily, and for how many days was your record for the maximum number of days you sat in your house and you didn't even realize?
I think easy 3 to 4 days.
Wow, okay.
I'm easy. I don't, this, I'm not working. I'm sleeping and just hanging at home. I don't even realize. If 3 days have gone by, I will never realize. Yeah, but I think, the thing is here, it's when you are free to do something, it's very different. And when you've been told that it's a lockdown, that feeling that you are confined now, that makes you feel it more. It's like, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, otherwise you could be at home for 3 or 4 days or even a week. You don't even realize it a lot of times, Yeah.
So but this is something our viewers can take note of, that works so hard that you can just take 3-4 days off and you have enough money to just sustain. Okay, so this is how rich people function. All the memes that are going around about Ambani finally finishing up his house, right? Whatever, he knows how big his house is. This is how rich people function. 3-4 दिन में घर पे बैठे हैं, मेरे को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
That is hitting below the belt currently when none of us are working.
But tell me, this role reversal that you've done as from an actor to a producer and dabbling the two roles that you have, very important ones. As an actor, to deal with such a big, such a big push in your film, or such a big hiccup in the film, how different is it to face it as a producer? I mean, had you been the producer on the same project and say you did a roadblock, what's the difference? I mean, as an actor, you're not losing money. I mean, you'll definitely get paid after some point, and whenever the film gets made, whenever the film resumes. But as a producer, when you've invested money, you have a team that's working.
I feel as an actor, you've been hired to do something, and okay, the film is stalled right now, and that's about it. I mean, you got your whatever last check you were meant to get, and then now you just have to wait to hear from the team, whenever they get it back on track, and you can't do anything more than that. Yes, you do feel that, this is going to be my next project, and it is, I was looking forward to it. And as an actor, every release, every role you do matters, the visibility matters, so that sort of comes to this, one stumbling block, and it is suspended in the air, you don't know. So that's one thing. As a producer, I think in this film, I saw also the producer's side, the producers who are actually producing this film. That is a big one at hand, because, for your film to be, a film that is being shot on floors and suddenly you're suspending. And he was like, okay, I think we just have to, I don't know, I will revisit this once the lockdown is over. Because actually they don't know what to do about it, because everything is all suspended in the air. Like, if I talk about my project, thankfully my film shoot is over. It's in post-production. I think now the decision will go into when and how do we go about pitching and releasing this film, So that is something, again, I think it's like a total reboot. It's like you're going to have to start from scratch wherever you stopped.
And how important is it as a producer at this stage to be sensitive towards the crew and the cast, and especially the laborers, the workers who are working for a film like this? How important is it to do that at this stage?
I think that is one of the biggest questions right now. I think as people who are in a certain position, who are hiring people, especially the daily wage workers, who are dependent on them, they must set up a fund. They must do something for them in a way they can, because I have been hearing a lot of horror stories where people have just said, okay, you're out of it. I don't have a film. You're out of a job. I can't pay you anymore. It's like how you would deal with your domestic helps. There are helps who can't come right now.
Yes.
Help can't come home. They're for their safety, for our safety, for everybody's sake. But you cannot tell them that, okay, you're not coming and working, so we can't pay you. No, they're still your employee, and you're going to have to pay them. I understand that, once the lockdown is over, there will be certain, I think, you'll have to balance out certain things. But especially for the daily wage workers, especially for, I think, people who are so dependent on you, must be sensitive towards that as a producer and as someone who's in a position of power to do that.
Definitely, that's so sweet, and that's very responsible, and we all as producers must learn from this as well, and going forward, and hopefully we never have to account some situation like this, but in case we do,
I know,
to be sensitive, and it's very important to learn from it.
I think a heart in it and keep a little bit of sensitivity is what is important in these times.
And now coming to the other side, the personal side, how have you reconnected with your family at this time? How are things going on that front?
Like, do they even think you're family to them?
What?
No, I'm just saying, I'll just rephrase the question. You've been busy through the year. You've done some big films. You're doing regional stuff. You're producing, you're acting, you're traveling. Just asking, does the family still consider you to be a part of them? No.
Just see this. That's what you don't have any time for anyone. You are talking about me. I'm not half as busy as you guys. Yeah, I know how hard you all work and how busy you all are.
That is not true at all. If you do so many things, we know you have at least 25 hours in the day. That's how you are doing so many amazing things.
I hope. So so this is what has happened. Okay, in this whole chaos, we are all in different cities. Certainly, family. I'm here with my husband in Delhi. I had to go drop mom a couple of, it's been about, I think, 10 days or a little more, because she's diabetic and she'll be better in Assam. I would be petrified, I think, right now if she was alone in Mumbai. Back home in Assam, she has the help, that's people around, because she stays all by herself. I dropped her. I stocked up for her a little bit because I think we were anticipating something like this.
Yes.
And I was back here much before the total lockdown, actually. Sister is in another city. She is, look at the stuff that's happening. She's in the middle of a transfer, she and her family. From Haldwani, which is in the foothills of Nainital, to Delhi, and it's hanging in the air right now because they finalized a home in Gurgaon and they can't come.
Oh.
They can't come right now. Yeah, so they gave a notice in that home in Haldwani, and they're figuring it out because everyone is being sensitive right now, thankfully, and they have a child. I think we are surviving on video chats right now. As family, everyone, I'm telling you, the chats with friends and stuff like that, and I think these apps are great. Right now, we are on this app. There's another one where you can play trivia.
Yeah.
8 people can talk together.
Don't name these apps; they won't pay us.
I'm not taking the name. No, I'm not taking names here.
Do you enjoy playing games on these apps? These games are really fun. Some of them, the social ones.
Yeah, great fun. They're great fun, and they have so many different decks.
Yeah.
There's entertainment. I know also. There's entertainment. There's general knowledge. There's true crime, which I love. I love true crime, by the way. And there are questions on Ted Bundy and all these. I know people will think I'm crazy, but I love thrillers and horror stuff. So yeah, there are lots of different kinds of thrillers.
But tell us, this last 10 days, 7 to 10 days, a complete shift in the work cycle, complete shift in lifestyle. How does the day start? What's the change what's the transformation in the way that you're facing? How different is the life become? And what does the day start like and what does it end like?
Routine? This is the first time I think I have a routine because there is nothing else to do. You have to have a routine.
It is very important. To keep your mental stable, you need a routine. Yes,
because I do wake up late, which is normally me when I am not working.
Late meaning say 9 o'clock, 9:30 is late.
No. Shall I actually tell you that?
Yeah. We need it. Why do you think I plugged this question in?
So when I'm not working, which is currently completely the situation because we're not working. So, noon would be early for me.
What?
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
Clap.
I love my sleep. This is how much I love my sleep. Okay, have you all been reading that sleep is actually very good for building immunity? And I think I'm doing great service to myself by building my immunity and sleeping good number of hours. Okay, so I'm not going to be apologetic about it.
Well done.
For the first time in my life, yes, thank you. For the first time in my life, I'm considering a fitness regime because I'm extremely lazy and I don't do anything in a regime sort of way.
If we have to ask a question, I think the answer is very obvious. Have you lost weight or gained weight in this quarantine?
I've lost my mind for sure. I think you think all of you are going to hold on to your minds and sanity. No, we are all going to lose a little bit of
No, we are holding on to our clients' money. We are holding on to clients' money. Please pay us. We need the money to survive, sir. Madam, paisa do.
I have a feeling I'm going to gain weight for sure because also
me too.
I usually don't have much of a problem with this whole weight thing, but this is an unprecedented situation. So
this is another epidemic in itself.
Yeah. We're eating, and here at home here in Delhi, we have very nice Punjabi khana. So the thing is, there's going to be like kali dal, and there is like Homemade, all of it. And I've been trying to watch YouTube videos and get some
Inspiration.
like easy yoga at home. That's the best I can do.
But it's very difficult to imagine you not having a fitness regime before this, right? You must have been very active.
So I grew up, I've said this, I think a lot of people ask me this. So I grew up completely athletic and all kinds of sports, tennis and table tennis and swimming and badminton, all of it. Because my dad was a hardcore sportsman. He was a tennis player. As I grew older and I came out of Assam to be in hostel, for my higher studies and everything, I got lazier about it. Also, my metabolism helped somewhere. I'm just saying it very honestly.
Yeah.
And I only have my dad to thank for it, and I've been taking that for granted for way too long now. So now I think it's like about time. Yeah. So the universe is telling all of us stuff, that is also great. It's the universe is sort of a lesson for everyone here. The universe is telling us a lot of things. We need to listen to it. That's it.
Yes, so many lessons that we are learning. Definitely.
Rapid fire. So not me. Okay, let's go. I will try.
Okay, a rapid fire, or we'll think of another name for this round. With Deepanata Sharma, here we go.
And first question: What is your most favorite hobby? What do you love doing in your free time?
Singing out loud.
How sweet.
Very loudly. Yeah. Very loudly.
Basically, to scare everyone around you.
There was a report.
I don't. If you're singing, you must sing out loud and not think of anyone around you.
I read a report that the Delhi police had tried to catch a woman singing unnecessarily loudly, and people had complained. Was that you by any chance?
Yeah, like Modi Singh, Ghanti Maro ye Gana Ga rahi hai.
Did that actually happen? Oh my God! Please don't.
Okay, next one. You've been a supermodel. You've been an actress. You still are. You're still a model. You're still ramp walking. Producer now. Soon, probably you start directing. Take away our jobs. Thank you. But tell me, all through these years, 10, 20 years of working, what has been the most hilarious memory of your career?
One only. That's a little tough because too many hilarious moments have happened.
What is the first one that you can think of when I ask you this?
But I think I remember once I was walking on the ramp, actively modeling at that time, and it was like my entry and everything, people waiting for. And my shoe comes off mid-ramp. My shoe just came off. I'm barefoot. One shoe has come off. So I have walked and I have taken one step and I've realized that, okay, I don't have a shoe on me.
Ouch.
So I did not pick up the shoe and walk. Why? Because we are in high heels. So I'll be limping. Right.
So you removed
the I go back, I wear the shoe mid-ramp and I continue walking.
Wow.
And it was embarrassing and hilarious, but I got a few claps, so I think it was worth it.
Well done. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
So Deepanata, you've been a model and an actor for so many years. Who has been your all-time favorite model or actor?
There are a few when it comes to male models. At a particular time, there were so many, I can't tell you, and they were all wonderful. But I think he's a friend and he's very, very dear, and I would take his name. That's Milind Soman, and I think he'll be my all-time favorite in terms of modeling. There's also, of course, I'm sorry, I'm going to digress and say to Rampal, who was also I think, the god of modeling. So yeah, these two would be my favorite male model of all times. And amongst females, I think Meher Jaisya and Madhu Sapre. I don't know if we can get better than that, at least for me.
Tell us one lesser known fact about Northeast India that the rest of the world should know.
I'm actually so glad you guys asked me this question because, as we know, I think in the middle of this whole crisis, there have been racist attacks on several Northeasterners. I've been vocal about it. Well, you feel strongly about something. And I am from, like you said, I am from Assam, and you always feel like there's so much that our own country don't know about one part of their country, and and such a big region, about the Northeast. They have preconceived notions. I think one of them is probably that people from the Northeast eat anything that crawls or walks, which I think which is a myth, and it is such a big myth. And that has been one of the biggest things that I think people from the Northeast have been fighting for a really long time. And instead of looking at the food habits or whatever, why don't you concentrate on the talent that it brings and what it brings to the table? I think there's so much more there: the beauty, the nature, the people, the warmth, and and I think a lot of times Northeast gets overlooked, and which I think is something that we constantly work at. People, especially us who come from there and who can sort of maybe, in some small way make a difference.
Do you think things are changing today? Do you think there's a positive turn to this that's happening in the last few years?
I do think, because there has been a focus on the Northeast in a certain way. And we have so much in our own industry now. I think we have so much talent from the Northeast. Like Nitesh said, that music has been so big. Music
Yes.
arts. There are sound engineers who are amazing. From the Northeast, from Assam, and all of these. Meghalaya and Manipur, known for their music and the dances and everything. So yes, there has been a focus. There is slowly, I think, awareness building up. I think it's the acceptance and sensitivity that is more important. That, okay, why have you decided that Indian look is a particular look? Why have you decided what an Indian looks like?
Yes.
India is a varied country. It is, across regions. We all look different, but we are all Indian. And why is it that only this particular quote unquote is an Indian look?
Yes.
I think that is one thing that I have been trying to bring focus to. Because, I mean, we are that way very global in the way we look as a country, and we should be proud of that.
Absolutely.
Accept it, yeah.
Quickly tell us, you've mentioned so many good things about Northeast. Which is your one favorite, like most favorite thing of Northeast? Like one, only one.
One thing about the Northeast is very tough, I think, but yeah, it's beauty. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just first love.
Agree.
That's great. What is moving on to the next question. What is the one quality of an actor that an actor must possess?
That's Farzan asking for himself, not the viewers.
Yeah, correct. I also need to learn. I'm such a talented actor.
I think one quality for an actor, I personally think, is focus.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dipanita Sharma, for being a part of our lovely interview. We had a really, really wonderful time. Thank you so much for imparting your lovely views, your comments, especially on the Northeasterners and on acting and on producing, and of course, having a really fun time with us. Before you go, what's the one thing you'd like to tell our viewers about what's going on right now, or anything you'd like to share with our viewers?
First of all, thank you guys. This was great fun, and this was entertaining since we have been in lockdown for a while now. We have some more time to go. But yes, to everyone, I'd like to say, please stay safe and stay home. Just stay home. All we need to do right now to be Corona warriors is to stay home, actually. And we'll be great service to our country and the world by staying home. So just please let's adhere to that. That's it. And trust me, I think it will make us creative. We will find new ways of figuring out what to do constructive, what to do with our time, This is the time. Let's look inwards. I'm telling you, the universe is giving us a great message right now. So
It's lovely that you said Corona warrior. Just shows the kind of optimism and positivity, hope that we are carrying through. And
Yes.
the best way to fight the virus is by being a warrior. So let's not be a victim to coronavirus, but let's be a corona warrior and fight it together.
Yes.
We all in it together. So that's really nice way to kind of put it that way. I think it's
Absolutely.
lately, regardless of this conversation, it's I think one of the better things I've heard this
Yeah.
quarantine. The last 10 days, I think this is the best thing I've heard. Be a corona warrior and
Yes.
don't spread the virus. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. That's the message that Deepanita Sharma is leaving us with. And all of you watching, stay tuned for our next episode, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you, guys.
See you.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.